Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hallmark Guy Podcast. I'm Baptiste, the Hallmark Guy, and I'm back with a new episode. And this time, we're going to be recapping and reviewing Christmas at the Catnip Café. It premiered Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at 8, 7 Central on Hallmark Channel as part of Merry Thanksgiving Weekend. It was the second movie of the Sunday double feature and the final one of Merry Thanksgiving Weekend. I can't believe we're almost done with the slate of movies. I think to review, I have more, but to premiere, there are six movies left, which is crazy. The movie starred Erin Cahill and Paul Campbell, and it is the first time that Paul has another movie along with one of the Three Wise Men movie, which I mean, I guess last year he kind of had one because he had what probably would be considered a cameo in the Santa Claus, but he was so much in it that I don't know if it's a cameo anymore. But the year we had three wise men and a baby, three wiser men and a boy, Andrew and Tyler also had a second movie where they were the leading person. It is the first time that, and Paul did not, and I always felt bad for him. And it is the first time that Paul has a second movie where he is the lead. I don't want to say he's finally made it because he had made it, but like he's made it to the top. Like he's up there with Andrew and Tyler now, and that makes me happy for him because he's a great actor. He seems like a great guy. I saw him quickly in person at the Hallmark Christmas Experience last week. Was not able to get a picture with him. They were rushing him to another panel, but yeah, I was really happy for him and happy to get a Erin Cahill movie, Christmas movie. I saw her last year at the Hallmark Christmas Experience, and I'm hoping to see her this year again. And last year she was just a sweetheart. I did not personally interact with her, but I was close to people she interacted with during the Chiefs movie red carpet, and she was just the sweetest person. She seemed like the sweetest person, and I see her on interviews on that I see online. She seems like a sweet person, and I was sad last year after meeting her in person. I was like, oh wait, I'm realizing we don't have a Erin Cahill movie. We did. We had the Sherry Lane ones on Hallmark Plus. I just didn't have time to watch. And she made a cameo in Christmas Quest. I'm pretty sure it's the name, but now I'm like, was it that movie? Christmas Quest? Was that the name of the movie? It was. No, it was it. It was the Christmas Quest. Yeah, I don't know what Google gave me something else. But she made a cameo there at Lacey as Lacey's mom, which there's a funny moment. I was watching a video of Hallmark stars, I think at Comic Con this summer, and she was like, "Oh, I played Lacey's mother," and then a few seconds later, she had to go back and say in flashbacks because like people were like, "You played Lacey's mother? You're probably like around the same age." So yeah, I was really happy. Paul got a second movie. Erin got a movie. That's great. Let's jump into the movie. So the movie starts 30 years ago when Olivia's parents leave her with her aunt. Guys, I'm probably going to say aunt at some point. I'm going to say aunt at some point. I do not. I have never decided which one I want to say. They leave her with her aunt when they travel to London. Jump to the present time in Oakland, California. Olivia is running a marketing company and is visiting an apartment, but it is out of her budget. She gets an email for a meeting about her aunt's estate, and her aunt's left her half owner of the Cat Cafe in Felicity, New York. Ben Kane, who owned the cafe with Esther, the aunt, you see, is the other half owner. Victoria, no, Olivia, at first I thought her name was Victoria. Olivia immediately thinks about selling the cafe so she can have enough money for the down payment for her new apartment. Ben is a veterinarian. God, I was able to say it. And he's being too nice to his clients and accepts too many appointments because they give him treats. He's also very nice to them and helps them with their troubles around their house. He's basically the town's handyman. Olivia did not know her aunt owned a cat cafe and feels bad because she missed her funeral because she was away for work. It is a slow period for work, so she will work remotely from Felicity until the cafe is sold. She gets there, and when she sees Ben for the first time through his veterinarian clinic window, she gets lost in her thoughts. She gets to the cafe and asks for a coffee, but when the barista seems confused about what beans they use, she switches to tea. He tells her that all the cats at the cafe are up for adoption. Ben shows up at the cafe and is happy that the owner is Esther's niece, and he hopes it is a good surprise for her. She tells him she's happy to have received the cafe because she could get money with it. Ben tells her that the cafe is not lucrative, to which she replies, well, yeah, it's a cat cafe in a small town, not a resort in Vegas. Ben is annoyed because the cafe has a big impact on the community. Olivia tells him she doesn't have space in her life for the cafe and that she wants to sell it and that a developer is interested. But Ben does not want to sell and does not have enough money to buy her out. So they are stuck. Olivia goes to stay at her aunt's house, and back at the clinic, Ben's co-vet, who is also his sister Meredith, asks him if he is bringing someone for Christmas because it has been 7 years since he broke up with his ex. And Ben tells her that someday, but that right now, between running the clinic, the cafe, and being the town's handyman, he does not have time. Ben goes to visit Olivia because he cannot find Esther's Christmas binder. Olivia finds it and gives it to him. Putting together Christmas at the cafe was Esther's pride and joy, and Ben is wondering how he is going to pull it off by himself. Olivia tells him she can help him if he does not delay the sale of the cafe. Ben reminds her he does not want to sell, and she tells him, but you can't stop it, only slow it down. Ben tells her it's 3 weeks of working closely, and she says, as long as you don't delay the sale, I'm good. And he tells her that maybe she'll realize how important the cafe is and will change her mind, to which she says she won't. Ben thinks she will, she says no, but they have a deal. Olivia and Ben meet for lunch the next day, and she meets Ben's friend who owns the restaurant where they are eating with her husband. And she did not know that they are supposed to do all of the activities in the binder. And she says it's impossible, but Ben says they have to. And the first one is that night, and it is a sock puppet show. And they are the ones performing it, but there is practically no one, no audience. So Olivia says she will take over the next event to boost the audience. Olivia leaves, and we get a Kimberly Sastad cameo. Um, Kimberly arrives like holding a cat, and she's like, "It was great. You should really think about adding a fireman to the whole thing. Cats love a man in uniform." And it's like, and then like on the show, it's like, yeah, she's like, "I have one at home." He's like, "A cat?" She says, "No, a fireman and a cat, two, maybe three." Looking at the cat, it's of course I'll talk a little more after, but it's of course a little nod to the Nine Lives of Christmas and the Nine Kittens of Christmas. I haven't seen those movies yet, but I figured it out. Um, I laughed out loud when she says, "I have one at home." Like a cat, fireman, and a cat, two, maybe three. Love that cameo. I'll talk a little bit about more at the end. Back to the story. Olivia works tirelessly on the next event, which is Mary Catmas story time, and she remembers rescuing a cat with her aunt. And it is the third memory she had in the past few days of fond memories with her aunt. Olivia had a Christmas tree delivered to the house and asked Ben if he has Christmas decorations she can borrow. And he says he might have one or two, but it's actually a whole room. He tells her his sister and mom bought him a lot of decorations to make it feel like home after L blank, and then he stops and says after he moved in. Olivia also notices that he has a big collection of records, and he says that this room was supposed to be a music listening studio, and he was supposed to build shelves, but he never did. Tells him it is okay to take time for yourself. Ben helps Olivia decorate and they warm up to each other, but says it's only part of his strategy to get her not to sell, which she says won't happen. A lot of people showed up to the Merritt Catmas story time, and Olivia decides that after everyone is done reading, they should write the cat stories and draw their pictures for potential adopters. And Ben says she's warming up to the cafe, but she says it's just marketing. One cat is left alone, Gingerbread. It is the cat that has been there longest, 3 years. And Ben says it is because it is a cat of a particular taste. Olivia sits down and reads to the cat, and she remembers her when she was little, reading to the cat she rescued with her aunt, and she named her Noel because it was Christmas. At the Merry Mistletoe Market, Olivia learns that a boy who wants to adopt one of the cats is waiting to be adopted himself, and that by the time that is done and he can adopt the cat, the cafe could be sold. Her and Ben almost have a moment when they end up under the mistletoe, but they get out of it by singing a Christmas song. Walter Morley, the developer who wants to buy the cafe, shows up and says the paperwork will be ready for the Christmas party, the last event Olivia committed to. And Olivia makes Ben promise he won't drag the sale out. Meredith invited Olivia to dinner the next night, and Olivia insists on bringing something, but she does not have any cookware because it is already packed for the sale of the house. So Ben invites her to cook at his place, and then they can head over to his sister's together. While cooking, Olivia learns that Ben is an espresso fan like her, and she tells him that her parents were nomads and she moved a lot growing up. So the only place that ever she ever considered home is her aunt Esther. With her parents would leave her when they didn't take her on some trips. Ben tells her that she talked a lot about her and was really proud of her. She feels bad that she did not come back in time for her memorial or spend time with her. She wonders why she left her after the cafe, and Ben tells her that maybe it's just because she loved her. Meredith's husband, Dan, tells Olivia that the vegetable tian she brought was delicious, and she tells him Ben helped, so Meredith says she should team up more often. Meredith asks where the Christmas party will be, and Olivia says that she talked to Abby about it. Meredith and her husband feel awkward, and Ben says there is no need to say something, but Abby is actually Ben's ex fiancee, and he says that they are now friends. He thanks his sister for sharing about his failed love life, and she tells him that the right person will come along someday. There is no importance, so Ben proposes wine, but Meredith says she is good before revealing that she is pregnant. While bringing Olivia home, she asks Ben if he had a reaction when Meredith announced that she was pregnant, and he tells her he did. He is happy for them, but he feels like everyone around him has all of these amazing things going on, and he is just kind of standing still. He wants kids, but he does not feel young anymore. Olivia also wants kids, but she says she's too busy to take care of an animal, so let alone a kid. Ben reminds her that there are usually two people in that case, and they have a moment, and then she decides to head inside. Ben gets home and look at family pictures. Olivia remembers the time when her parents told her they could not adopt the cat she rescued because they don't have a home, and that her aunt said she would keep her. The next day, Olivia admits to her friend on the phone that she has a small crush on Ben, but there is no point because she's leaving soon. Tells her that if she really cares, she would find a way to make long distance work. Ben started working on his shelves, and Olivia comes help him. He thanks her before encouraging her to take time for her. He thanks her for encouraging her to take time for himself. Sorry. They tell each other they have enjoyed spending time together working on the Christmas events. The theme for the Catnip pajama party and movie night is Winter Wonderland. Before heading in, Ben runs into Abby, who is also heading in, and she tells him that she would love to host the Christmas party and maybe they can make it an annual thing. Ben tells her he would love that, but he never finishes his sentence. Abby tells him that he likes Olivia and no one deserves. She figured he likes Olivia and no one deserves to find the right person more than him. He thanks her and they head in. And they watch Sassy Cat Saves Christmas. Ben stays after to help Olivia clean up. She tells him they don't have she tells him they don't have to have the party at Abby's restaurant, and he tells him it's fine. It's been 7 years. She asks him if there has been someone since then, and he tells her the opportunity to meet a beautiful, eligible woman in a small town are pretty small, but it does happen occasionally, like looking at her, meaning it's her. He asks her if she has ever been in love, and she reveals that she was married right after college, but it didn't work out. She tells him she has a perfect example of a healthy relationship from her parents. She says, "For my parents, she says, for my parents, only child, moi." And that's the funny thing. I should backtrack on this. She talks about something like, "For my parents, I'm the only child, moi," and he asks her if she speaks French, and she says, "Un petit peu, et toi?" And he says, "Un petit peu," and it was a nice French moment. He always wanted to go, he speaks French because he always wanted to go to Brussels, but never got the chance yet, which seems like a theme for him. She tells him he can say no to people, but he says that it is who he is to be the guy people rely on. He helps her take a paper snowflakes from the ceiling down, and she asks him who takes care of him, and he says no one. They are close and they kiss, and it's a nice kiss, I'll tell that. They are interrupted by Gingerbread, who is running away. Olivia catches him, and they are surprised. The cat is letting him is letting her hold him. Sorry. The next day, Ben shows up to Olivia's and tells her he will take care of the whole Christmas party. There is a whole cute vibe between them. But the day after, it's really cute. I really liked it. Frank, who works at the cafe, tells Olivia that they never had that many RSVP for the party and they might get a lot of adoptions. Olivia says that she's relieved because she has grown attached to the cats and the place. He tells her she has made the Christmas events feel different in a good way. The little boy who was waiting to get adopted is about to be adopted and comes in to put a hold on the cat he wants, Snowball. At the restaurant, Ben is getting things ready, but he is glad that Olivia is coming to help, and she actually brought reinforcement because since he never asked for help, Olivia did the asking for him. He is touched, and they get to work. Frank brings mail, and it is from Esther's attorney. And it was a letter and photo of Olivia with the cat she rescued when she was a child. Ben recognizes the cat and tells her that Esther used to talk about her all the time, and that rescuing that cat made her want to help other cats, and that is how the cafe was born. Olivia realizes that it is why she got the cafe, and she's the reason it exists. She hopes this last event helps all the cats get adopted. Rin realizes that she's still planning on selling and tells her she should stay and keep the cafe, but she tells him she was clear from the beginning and she worked hard for her life in California, and now she has the opportunity to settle down. Bennett is disappointed because he thought the place and him were winning her over, which they have, but she did not anticipate feeling that way. She really likes him. Ben says he will honor his deal. She wishes it was different, but she cannot walk away from her life. Ben says that the kiss felt real, though. He tells her she has finalized her part of the deal. She does not need to stay for the party, and he will undo everything. She says maybe it's for the best, and Ben is clearly sad. On her way to the airport, Olivia stops at the gas station and meets one of the workers who rescued a cat from her aunt at the cat cafe. She gets emotional and he asks her if she has a cat, and she says not yet and leaves. Walter is at the party, and Ben says there is no need to wait to sign. And right after he signs, Olivia comes in and tells him that she felt like her aunt was telling her from heaven that she was making a mistake. When she realizes has signed the sale, she says the cafe is not for sale. She goes to see Walter, and tells him that she intends to keep her aunt's legacy and not sell. Walter says okay because I didn't come in here to fight, just for signatures. Plus, he made a cat friend, and he tears the contract. Then asks her if she's sure, and she says she has found what she has ever wanted, a home here with the cat cafe, with the cat cafe, the town, and him. The party was a success, and Olivia adopted Gingerbread. She asks Ben how he feels about being neighbor, and he thinks it is perfect. They kiss, and that was Christmas at the Catnip Cafe. Like I said, I was really excited that we were getting a second Paul Campbell movie, that we're getting an Aaron Cahill movie. I did not know about the movie, what to think about it, because when they announced it, not a new movie, Aaron Cahill, Paul Campbell, Christmas at the Catnip Cafe. I was like, they couldn't have given it something like better in a way. I'm like, Catnip Cafe? I'm like, okay. And I'm not a cat person, so and a cat cafe is probably just one of my nightmares. But I actually really enjoyed the movie. Um, so it did not feel too much like a Christmas movie, I will say, although they were nice Christmas scenes. What I base a Christmas movie on nice Christmas scenes is a lot of lighting, Christmas lighting, and the exterior scenes at night with the snow, the lighting, they looked really good and really Christmassy. Other than that, it didn't really feel much like a Christmas movie. And I like again, I'm not a cat person. The cat cafe didn't care, but I cared a lot about the characters and their connection. This pairing, Erin and Paul, was an amazing pairing. They're so talented by themselves, and together they worked so well. I was hooked from the beginning. I was rooting for them. That first kiss was amazing, and I was really looking for them. Yeah, I like I said, the cat cafe. I'm not. That wasn't one. I wasn't really. It's not that I wasn't rooting for him, but rooting for it. But I was rooting for the characters. That's what I cared about the most. These characters were really great, and I loved Ben's vulnerability in the movie. I think it's a kind of a theme this year because I feel like I felt that for other in other movies this year. But when he talked after his sister announced she was pregnant, and he talked about the way he felt, and like everyone's moving on, and he's standing still, and he wants to be a dad, and then later, who's taking care of you? No one. He was really vulnerable, putting like wearing his heart on his sleeves and just being, yeah, just vulnerable. And I love that. I love that character development, that kind of character. And I really love that part. And props to Paul, who played it really well. Paul was amazing in that movie, and he was amazing at playing that character with those emotions. So props to him for that. And then one of my favorite Hallmark actress, leading lady. She's not the leading that one, but the Kimberly Sestat cameo. I loved it. I rewatched it multiple times. I've met Kimberly last year at the Hallmark Christmas Experience, and this year again. She is lovely. She's so sweet. I remember last year we were in line to meet Andrew Walker, and I see her walking by with Benjamin Ayres, and we were in line. We couldn't get out of line to meet with her, and I really wanted a picture, so I just yelled, "Kimberly!" And she came towards us, and we were in line, so there were ropes between us. She was like, she went over the ropes. She was like, "I'm tired of those ropes being between us," and she took pictures with all of us. She was really nice, and I was so happy to see her in the movie. What I almost wrote is that if there's one thing we can be sure of is that if there's a Paul Campbell movie, there will be a Kimberly Says That cameo, and vice versa, because they've done so many movies together. They're best friend, I think. They wrote the three Wise Men movies together, and then he was in the Santa Claus last year. She was in his Christmas movie 2 years ago, which oh god, I know exactly which movie it is. I actually really like that movie. But I can't find the name right now. Um, it was Magic and Mistletoe. And so I just when I had a spoiler on social media. I had seen it on social media because I watched the movie actually Monday night and it premiered Sunday. But so I knew, but when I saw her, I was just so excited. And I think that the nods, even though I've never seen the movies, the nods to the Nine Lives of Christmas and the Nine Kingdoms of Christmas, the other Hallmark cat movies, of course they had to be made. So that was awesome. That was awesome to have her there. I love their friendship, the way that they're always going to show up for each other in their movies. And it was just a funny thing. So I really liked that. And overall, I really liked the movie. Like I said, didn't care about the cats. Would have liked a little more Christmas, but still, I thought I gave it a four. I gave it a 3.5. Um, was yeah, and one more thing. Yeah, that's true. I love that we went back to the old trope of character inherits something in a small town, goes to sell, falls in love with the place and another person, and decides to stay. What I was surprised was that we went that was a cat cafe instead of a bakery or something. But I love that we went back to that trope. It's just people are always making fun right now on social media about, oh, girl goes back to town, girls falls in love with the lumberjack or whatever. And I'm like, we haven't really had that plot in so many years. Like Hallmark has evolved so much in the past few years. That simple plot, I don't feel like we've gotten in a long time. So I was happy to get, maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't feel like we did at least. So I was really happy that we did. And I will probably watch that movie again, especially the Kimberly cameo. But just that pairing was amazing, and they really did a really good job at acting on that movie, and I loved it. So that is it for Christmas at the Catnip Cafe. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Hallmark Guy Podcast, and I will see and follow the channel. Like, comment, tell me what you thought, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.